What is your guys' sense of where the network is leaning if they're going to give you
You know, I think it could go either way at this point. I think they're probably going to see how their pilots do, and then it'll be a big financial kind of decision come May, and we'll see. Why don't you guys just write that we're picked up?
There you go. I hope so.
You know, force them a little bit, push them over the edge.
Question: going into season 2, you added 2 female characters.
Yeah.
What was the motivation behind that? Like, was that a network note, or was that your decision, or?
You know, it was a combination of things. I think that the network was definitely looking to bring in some female characters. So we talked about that a little bit, and then we talked about how many, and then you end up, you know, sort of casting people.
I was kind of stuck on 7, but they narrowed it down to 2.
Right.
Whatever.
Charlie's
You can't always
Angels.
get what you want. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, well.
Chances Angels.
Yeah.
So you know, and then we ended up casting Janet and Indira, and then you sort of it sort of plays out per the kind of casting of it. You know, like there's a version where Ames could have been cast and ended up as like sort of a romantic relationship with Chance or any of the other characters, but then it ended up sort of being more of like a brotherly, sisterly kind of thing with that character. And then we found that the sort of chemistry was there with Chance and Ilsa.
That brings a question, Mark. How did you play the romantic as that started happening? How did that affect your character? How did you see that changing?
Well, it was all pretty much on the page. It wasn't just there weren't just like separate scenes where, you know, Indira's character and my character were kind of attracted to each other. It was sort of woven into the fabric of the whole season. So it was interesting to kind of feel it developing as things went along, and I had a great time. I mean, I love working with Indira, and whether it was under romantic circumstances or friendly for our characters, didn't really matter to me. I liked the show. I liked the people on it, and I had a good time.
Have you guys come from the panel, or you're going to the panel?
I'm going in
Going to the panel,
yeah.
So I can't ask you how, but you were here last year, though. I mean, what is the WonderCon audience like for you?
The WonderCon audience is very receptive. I find them to be a little bit more. There's a little bit. It's not quite as well known as Comic-Con, so you have some pretty hardcore fans kind of making it up here for this. It's a little more remote, I think, than Comic-Con. And we had a wonderful panel last year. It was a lot of fun. It's deceptively large here. At least in Comic-Con, you see people walking through the streets, and it seems like the whole section of town is just, you know, this movement of, it's like this wildebeest in the city, just kind of jumping over the streets, you know. But here things are a little more spread out, but everybody gets into the convention center. It's deceptively well attended. And I had a great time. That is an amazing notebook, Dad. You got, like, where do you get the filler for? Staples? Do you buy?
Yeah, that's just at Staples, but this is actually The Notebook notebook.
Oh.
Can I see it? I won't read it.
I just want to be able to read my handwriting.
From the movie? Is that
Don't you hate it when Don't you hate it when it wears down this much and you realize it wasn't leather? like, oh shoot, it's a synthetic kind of thing.
But it's sentimental.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Script 301.
Right.
Yeah. You were talking episode 301. Dude, I couldn't even read your writing.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Have you guys thought about what you might do for the next season in terms of maybe adding stuff? Have you guys already started working on that process?
Yeah. And we're going to go talk to the network about it in like 2 weeks or so. But we've talked about, you know, where we could take the show, where we could take some of the characters, long range, short term. And we have some ideas that should be pretty fun, I think, for season 3. And, you know, try and bring back some of the characters, like the Baptiste character, some we want to bring back. And, I don't know, maybe Tony Hale's character, Harry, was fun. Yeah, right. He was great.
How much are you influenced by fan reaction at things like this? They're telling you ideas that they like or they don't like. How much does that affect you when you're...
Me personally, it affects me kind of significantly, you know.
He takes it personally.
I do. I
He
take
does
it
take it
really
personally as well.
I'm really sensitive, so I'm hoping
Yeah.
everyone. You know, the one thing from last season that from season 1 into season 2 that seemed to be the most controversial issue that I was able to see, thanks, online. Because you say you're not going to look online, you're not going to read the blogs or the comments or anything. And
While you're Googling yourself.
yeah, exactly. Which you invariably
Yeah.
do is, you know, the music change from season 1 to season 2, and the switching of composer and all of that. And, you know, because Bear McCreary has quite a big following at these types of events. So, you know, we hear everything, I hear everything, and you listen and you take it into account. It's very, very dangerous to listen too much. You know, it's like if you write a script and one person gives you notes and then another person gives you another note, and you start listening to all that stuff, it's going to suck what you write, because it's going to be this, you know, combination of all these notes. But if the same if you know 4 different people give you the same note, then you realize, okay, maybe there's something to this. So if somebody has a comment about the show, you think about it, but you don't really take it too seriously. If 1,000 people have the same note, then you start to say, okay, maybe there's something to this and we have to pay attention.
Was there anything from there about the addition of female characters?
Well, you know, look, the female characters were something that some people loved, some people thought, oh, we love the core guys. You know, that's not something that is subject to change, or that is something that we're going to, you know, consider, ooh, maybe we should kill one of our characters now, or lose one of our characters. This is the unit, this is the team, you know. And we're going to move forward with that group. And if some people, they really miss the season 1 core 3 guys, totally get it, totally respect that, but that's not, the show is these 5 characters with Chance as the lead star of the show, and then the 4 other characters, you know, supporting. I mean, I don't know of any show on TV that has 3 stars that's a 1-hour show. You know, you need to fill out the world, and every season, and whether we bring in, you know, I was talking to Mark last night, and like whether we bring in a couple new characters this season, whether it be just Baptiste and Harry for an episode or 2, or we bring in, you know, we were talking about Baptiste, and like if Baptiste and Chance are, you know, kind of like the closest thing to family that they have, is there another member of that family that we haven't met yet, and someone that we can bring in to sort of the fold? So I think you, like, every year you want to kind of go this way with your world as opposed to shrinking it down. It just makes the storytelling a lot more limited.
Mark, now that you've played Chance for 2 years, do you ever go back to the comics and look for more things that you might be able to be inspired by?
You know, I need to go back through season 1 and season 2 and start kind of looking at things to be that I did to remember it for season 3. To be honest with you. I think I haven't gone back to the actually I did. I was looking through one of the comics the other day, but no, I haven't really come up with anything for that in that respect. It's a good idea though. I think I might do that.
I have to call last question.
Oh, because it's a very physical show. Where do you decide to draw the line as how much you want to do and how much they let you do?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm a martial arts trainer, and I was working with them here, like in Los Angeles, and we were doing this thing. And I had to turn around and kick, and when I was kicking him, I wasn't. My foot wasn't doing it right. I was lifting my leg up, so he moved in a metal chair and said, "Here, I'm going to put this metal chair there, and that'll make sure you don't lift your foot over this. You kick it on the inside." And I was like, "No." He's like, "But wait a minute, I'm your trainer. I'm your sensei, whatever." I'm like, "No, because I could get hurt." And that's the end of that. So yeah, I've developed this ability to kind of say no and mean it, you know. But I mean, we got some great stunt people and the great coordinators, and it's really tempting to do as much as possible, but
He does a lot.
you know.
You know, like it's great for us because he's very physical, and so he's able to do things, and you're able to believe him doing things because of his training and who he is, as opposed to, you know, an actor that didn't have that. You had to like literally call cut every second and like bring in someone to throw a punch or something.
Sometimes it's nice just to be able to sit back and ask your stuntman to go into it.
Right.